Rob, and welcome to R&B Reviews. I'm going to be trying out a new segment for the channel. Right now I'm calling it First View, where I'm going to watch what is usually categorized as a classic must-see film for the first time ever in my life. Now today I'm going to be reviewing the 1968 crime thriller Bullitt, starring Steve McQueen, who in the late 1960s and early 1970s was the king of cool. He was the ultra-cool, hip, calm film star. And in addition to seeing this movie for the first time, this is the first time I have actually seen Steve McQueen act. I've always heard about him being an important part of pop culture, and I've read books and articles about him and his movies. I first heard about Bullitt when I was actually listening to a radio morning show. Yeah, they still exist, and I still listen to them from time to time. But anyway, I was listening to a radio morning show, and this movie came up. One of the hosts said that at the time, this movie, Bullitt, the car chase work that was done was groundbreaking for its time, and it led the way for car chases that we have in action movies now, like the Fast and the Furious movies. Alright, well, anyway, the movie is about a San Francisco police detective named Frank Bullitt. He's played by Steve McQueen, and he's hired by an up-and-coming politician named Walter Chalmers, played by Robert Vaughn, from the TV series of Man from U.N.C.L.E., a popular TV series from the late 60s, to protect a mafia informant. So it seems like a routine job, right? Until a pair of hitmen break in and kill the witness. But for Bullitt, something doesn't seem to be adding up, so he decides to investigate himself, and that means not playing by the rules and avoiding a fuming Chalmers as well. It's apparently based on a book called Mute Witness by Robert Pike. I gotta say, there were 2 points in the movie where I had to stop and rewatch scenes. There was the car chase, which I will get to in a minute, and the opening credits. I was so immersed in how the opening credits were shot and edited that I realized that I wasn't paying attention to the action that was happening underneath it. Basically, the way I guess to describe it is that the names of the actors and crew kind of act like a shot or a scene transition. The way they moved and they put it together and stuff is probably the best way I can try and describe it. The camera work was excellent, as was the editing throughout the movie, especially ground-up shots where it's pointed up to the actors. The movie itself has a very natural look. It's not so much a glossy one. A lot of movies by this time were made this way because audiences at the time wanted something more believable and realistic. Another example is the movie Bonnie and Clyde. It's shot almost like a I don't know if I would say documentary style, but it's like you're watching, it's like the camera's there photographing everything and there's no bright lights and glossy look to it. It seems like how we would see it if we were there, I suppose. I also read on the DVD box that the movie didn't really build any sets. Everything was shot at real locations and in real buildings, and that the filmmakers went so far as to make sure that hospital and police station procedures were correct. The dialogue is pretty good. It's not too out of date or too cliched. With the acting, I felt, I guess I would describe it as, again, naturalistic. I believe like I was watching a fully developed person and not a character, per se. I mean, I suppose I could see why he was known for his cool portrayals, and Robert Vaughn is great as the oily politician. He's constantly telling Bullitt he can advance his career or he can help the police department. Jacqueline Bisset plays McQueen's architect girlfriend. I mean, she's alright, but honestly, she's not given that much to do. The rest of the cast is made up of character actors, and I thought that added to the credibility of feeling like I was watching real people at work versus having big-name stars play all the characters and be like, oh, look, there's that person there, and there's this person here, that sort of thing. It did take me a while to get into some of the acting because it is definitely more dry and subtle than what a lot of movies now go for. Like, for example, there is a scene where Robert Vaughn blames Steve McQueen's character for failing to protect his witness, and throughout that scene, both actors remain calm and collected. Now, if this movie was shot today, the two would be shouting at each other, and they'd bringing the anger out. And plus, if you watch older films under the old Hollywood, they probably would have been more dramatic and more emotional. I like the jazzy score that accompanies the picture. I like the reaction shots of people in crowds watching as crime scenes are taking place. As you expect with this type of movie, Bullitt challenges authority, whether it's his boss or whether it's the Chalmers, whom he doesn't trust. And as for the famous car chase itself, the reason why I had to rewatch that again was because of all the built-up hype, and from what the radio host was comparing it to the Fast and the Furious, the first time I found it not to be as fast-paced. So after the scene played, I paused it, cleared my head of all this influential Fast and Furious and groundbreaking stuff. I just got that out of my head. I rewound it and started again, and then I imagined like I was watching it on the big screen in 1968. That time I found it to be more exciting, especially when Bullitt or the people he is chasing almost hit other cars. It was also done without music, which I think helps add to the, fun of the film. Finally, I enjoyed the exciting climax chase near the end, and I enjoyed the twists and turns, which reminded me of a complex film noir. It does have a few slow spots, but I can see why this film has been hailed as a classic film, and I also got a taste of what McQueen was like when he was a big star of the day. So that's my review of the movie Bullitt. So go ahead and post your comments about the movie if you've seen it. Go ahead and post the comments about this, I guess you could say, pilot segment, and tell me if you want me to continue making videos like these where I watch a movie for the first time and review it, a classic film. And do you like the title First View, or is there another title that you think would be better suited? I'm going to try and do maybe one review a week just to see how things go before I decide whether to continue or not. But go ahead and post your comments, and if you're interested, please go to the main page, like the video. If you're interested in being a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. And there's a ton of other videos that you can watch. There's movies of classic films from the 30s and 40s. There's some reviews of more contemporary and more recent films, and then of course there's movies that you can watch on the big screen in the theaters, so there's reviews for those as well. Thank you very much for watching.